being left out in the cold, so to speak, at number 3. And of course, the game that has the most impact, or I think is going to have the most impact in the national championship race, Oklahoma State at Texas Tech. And as you were mentioning earlier, the beginning of a brutal 3-week stretch, which includes a bye week for Texas
Still
Tech.
brutal.
Oklahoma State, bye, Oklahoma. So the Okies are going to Lubbock. Is Texas Tech going to recreate the magic with Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree, or are they going to fall into they're going to fall back after 1 week after their emotional high of their victory over Texas?
I don't see them as a well enough coach team, a well enough executing team to pull out another big victory here, and definitely not another 3 in a row with Oklahoma. I think they're going to lose one of these 2, and I think it's going to be this week against Oklahoma State. And the most scary thing about it as a Big Ten fan is that how do we know that Oklahoma State isn't going to be jumping Penn State if they win, like I'm saying? Why aren't they going to jump to number 2? It's just I'm kind of having trouble with the conference elitists right now, in the BCS and everywhere, allowing this to happen. I'm a little worried about it, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, it should be a good one anyway, and of course, perhaps last-second result would result in another Mike Gundy rant, which I'm sure everyone is cheering for at home.
It'll be fun.
Right. All right. Well, let's move back to Big Blue and let's talk about Michigan and Minnesota. Of course, in 2003, Michigan and Minnesota played one of the strangest and most exciting Michigan games in history. Michigan, the largest comeback in its history. I know personally it was a Friday night game, very strange. Came back home from the Novi High School football game, and after a particular Absad Abdul Khalik fourth down conversion, I quit on the Michigan Wolverines, and they still came back anyway. So take a look. We're going to take a look back to 2003. Happier times and a very exciting game.
It was Friday, October 10th, 2003, and due to a Metrodome scheduling snafu, your Michigan football Wolverines were forced to play underneath Friday night lights for the first time since their high school days against the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Number 19, Michigan, and number 13, Minnesota. Minnesota the favorite tonight, despite losing the last 14 head-to-head against the Wolverines. Minnesota trying to remain undefeated. They're 6-0.
Michigan stumbled early in the 2003 season, losing at both Oregon and Iowa in the opening weeks, and was looking to pick up its first road win as it brought a lowly 4-2 record into the contest. Minnesota, on the other hand, was an undefeated 6-0, number 13 in the country, and considered this battle for Little Brown Jug the most important in many a year.
It's a big game for Minnesota, obviously, and as we talked to players in the last day or so, including Abdul Khalik, he said he was nervous. He started thinking about the game Monday. He was getting excited about it, and all the other players as well.
And the Michigan trend of struggling on the road continued as Minnesota ran all over the Wolverines.
Barber following to pay, running room on the corner. Marion Barber!
By the end, they'd amassed 423 yards, the most ever by a Michigan opponent. Marion Barber and Lawrence Maroney each scored touchdowns in the first half for the Golden Gophers, and things looked bad for Michigan. Very bad.
Navarre crushed on the last play of the half by Paul Nixon and Darrell Reed. It was like the mouth guard went flying right out of there.
I think that's an earpiece. That's somebody's earpiece. Oh, man. You're going to see it go flying. Oh, wow.
Even Lloyd Carr admitted his team's lackluster first-half performance.
Well, we've got to stop making penalties, and we got to run the football better, and the biggest thing, we got to protect better.
It seemed as though the Wolverines were coming back to life as John Navarre, derided as the most lead-footed Michigan quarterback in history, outran the Minnesota defense on an epic trick play.
Navarre inside the 15. Touchdown, Michigan.
Can you say trickeration?
But Minnesota responded just 3 minutes later, going back to Lawrence Maroney.
There's Maroney with a first down and a touchdown.
After some nice games, Michigan stalled on the Minnesota 37, and the nightmare for Michigan continued.
It's a pass and a bad pass. Navarre threw it too far ahead of Perry, who was open with the running room necessary to pick up the first down.
And that's going to get the folks in Ann Arbor all over him.
Minnesota took the ball after the Navarre miscue and promptly scored their fourth touchdown of the game. And with confidence in John Navarre at an all-time low among the Michigan faithful, it seemed as if this game and the season was lost.
Stunning, but it's going to be on John Navarre's shoulders the rest of the way. He's gotten a lot of criticism about not having big games in big games. Fourth quarter is going to be all on him, and can he get it done for Michigan?
Despite having the cards stacked against him, John Navarre answered that question with a resounding yes. First, leading this quick touchdown drive to narrow the deficit to 14. Then, Jacob Stewart got into the act as he returned an interception for a touchdown, and just like that, the Wolverines were within 7. But Minnesota would not cede its lead quietly. Saad Abdul-Khalik seemed to put the final nail in Michigan's coffin with this disheartening touchdown run.
He snapped with 1. He has the first down. He's going to score. Touchdown, Minnesota.
But more than Minnesota, John Navarre wanted to exercise his demons. And with the help of Chris Perry, the sleeping maize and blue giant awoke from its three-quarter slumber to tie the game for the first time since 0-0.
Michigan looking for the tying touchdown. From the 10, the deep handoff. Perry walks in. Touchdown, Wolverines.
After a defensive stop, it was Navarre again, leading the team into field goal range with less than a minute on the clock. Then Garrett Rivas, only a freshman, took his first game-winning
And
field
that is
goal.
right down the middle. Michigan leads for the first time tonight.
And after a Marcus Curry interception, the game was over. Michigan had escaped in its biggest comeback in its storied history, with its season, thankfully, intact.
This gives us a chance to stay in the
Way.
race for
What's
another
up,
week.
man?
And Michigan will retain the little brown jug.
Good times in Michigan football history, Andy. I almost teared up there
I
reminiscing.
know, it was bringing
about-
back memories.
I know.
Really, we were
Good.
just reminiscing the whole time in the background. That was awesome.
Oh, it's awful. Well, there's, we saw the little brown jug there at the end. Andy, let's talk about what Michigan needs to do to recapture the little brown jug this season.
This year, we need to do what we've been saying all year, basically. We need to start making big plays on defense. Stop allowing big plays on defense. We need to stop the turnovers. We need to, let the big guys run. Hopefully Minor isn't hurt too bad. We'll see what happens with his injury as the week progresses. But those are the keys to the game. If we can execute them, we should be able to win, which has only happened twice this year. That's a big should. That's a big if.
Right.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Well, the thing that worries me, Andy, about this game, of course, we know that Michigan is last in total defense and offense in the Big Ten. I mean, 11th, not even 10th, 11th. But Adam Weber has the second most yards per game passing in the Big Ten. He's going to try to expose that Michigan secondary, and it could be interesting.
I think it might work. Let's go on a limb.
Okay, all right. Well, we don't have much time left, so quickly, Andy, Michigan or Minnesota, and by how much?
I'm going to go Minnesota by 2 touchdowns. Best chance is Northwestern at home.
I have to agree 100%, and I'm always wrong when I predict Michigan games, so hopefully that means Michigan will win. Well, we're going to be back next week. We'll be previewing the Northwestern game and hopefully talking about how Michigan captured or recaptured the little brown jug. For Andy Baena, I'm Alex Prasad. Tune in next week.